you. Okay, welcome everyone to another session for GRWE. Today's session is on getting started with content marketing, strategy tips, and resources. If you don't know who we are, we're part of Acorn Studio Marketing. I'm Laura. Emily is not here with us today, but she is the other partner. If you want to follow us, there's a QR code there. We share a bunch of content. And as well, I do encourage you to join our Facebook group as entrepreneurs. Please do. The QR code is there. That's how we can keep the conversation going throughout the week. And if you don't know about GRWE, this is what it's all about. We're just a group of like-minded entrepreneurs, and feel free to sign up and learn more at the QR code, or you can find us at acornstudio.marketing/GRWE. So let's jump right in. What is content marketing? Content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience and ultimately to drive profitable customer interaction. And you may have seen this before in one of our other sessions on content marketing, but this is just it. This is the quick infographic to explain it all. You've got everyone, you've got your business, lots of great ideas. You have in the center there, you've got a whole bunch of your channels. That's how you're going to distribute your content, like your website's the hub, all of these different tactics. And then once you have those channels, you have to create content, right? So that could be blogs, podcasts, images, and things like that. And ultimately at the bottom, it takes us down to our target audience, right? Who has questions. And that content is going to inform them, move them through the funnel to help you engage with you and build your community, but ultimately to build your business. So that's it in a nutshell. And it is part of the 7 steps to success in marketing. I do have digital in a bracket because it has evolved. It's just marketing in a digital first economy. So these are the 7 steps. They're not linear all the time, but they move back and forth. Today's really does focus on that creating great content, because that is one of the key success factors for marketing success. If you haven't had a chance to look at some of the webinars that we've done on the 7 steps, you can find all of our webinars at acornstudio.marketing/webinar-recordings. It's also a link at the bottom of our website. So that's the overall. Now we're going to learn how to create great content, right? So there are some key success factors, and we're going to cover those today. So one is making sure that it is audience-centric for your ideal client, or if you're working on a different audience, whatever that audience is. There has to be consistency. You should consider a variety of different content. You want to really think through that full funnel strategy. You've seen me talk about this so many times about the funnel, right? The awareness, the consideration, the purchase, and the loyalty. We want to make sure content is moving all the way through. Search engine optimization is kind of put in there too, because we want to, we know people are online searching. So we want to make sure that our content is search worthy. And then we have to think about promoting and delivering it. And then we want to finally is consider data-driven optimization and creating decisions based on the data we collect. So let's jump in for that. First and foremost, audience-centric. And I would say this definitely is primary. And what you have to do is you have to get to know your audience, right? We spend a lot of time talking about the target audience. And before we even start to create content, we have to know them, because we have to know what we deliver. Really understand their product, how your product and services solve their problems. Then create content that resonates with them, building stronger relationships. And then that consistency piece, right? We have to establish a content calendar, or you should, and maintain a consistent content creation schedule to build trust and authority with your audience. Now we're going to stay on here for a little bit more. We covered content marketing plan. So rather than getting into what that plan looks like, there's a QR code at the bottom. It'll take you over to our YouTube channel. And basically that plan is a strategic blueprint, right? That outlines your approach, your goals and tactics for creating, distributing, and managing valuable and relevant content. Ultimately, like we said within the funnel, it's to attract, engage, and retain that target audience. So having a plan will help you stay strategic, but it's also going to help you stay on point, right, along the way and keep you going. So what are those things that you need to think about when you're creating a plan? Well, first of all, you need to create that marketing strategy. That's part of that business plan, right? And then you have your business plan, you create your marketing strategy, and within that is a nested content marketing strategy. So what kind of content are you going to create to help you reach the goals for your marketing, which ultimately reach the goals for your business? And then we do recommend creating that content marketing plan. The plan is that action, how you're going to take that strategy, put it into action. We say 3 months, give or take, 1 month minimum. Beyond 3 months, your business can change so much. So it's nice to have an overall plan as part of your strategy, but really when you get into the details of a 3-month plan, and then develop a process for how you're going to create that plan, the content, right? And then, like always, and you've heard us say this quite frequently, make sure you use a tool to manage your tasks. It doesn't have to be Asana. We showcase Asana here. There's a QR code on how to use Asana to create a marketing plan. Editorial calendar, I think, is on that one. However, whatever you do, just take that process first and then put it into some type of tool so it sends you reminders, keeps you focused, make sure you don't miss key dates. All of that is really important for consistency. And then don't forget, you can use AI. And we get this all the time. And during our discussion, I'm sure we'll talk about this. But there's different ways that AI can help you develop your content so it's not such a burden. I mean, life has changed when ChatGPT and all of these other tools came into play, because now it can be your research assistant, right? It can help you write, edit, create content like the written stuff. It helps you create graphics, even edit graphics, Canva and others. Repurpose content. If you feed things into, say, ChatGPT, it's going to say, hey, could you create a blog on this web page, or can you create a social media post? There's different tools out there to help you create short form video from long form, as well as create social media posts. So there's a lot of tools. I mean, these are 3 that I use, but there's so many out there. And that if anyone else has some and wants to drop them in the chat with their recommendation, please go for it. That's what we're here for today, is sharing. There's also some links below that I found, and a couple I just found today. One of which is the YouTube. It's a news article from inside YouTube, and basically what they're going to be doing and how they are working on identifying they use the term synthetic content, and they're going to be bringing it forward. I also sat in listening to a panel about all of these policies about identifying and how AI is going to be managed. And this whole world is changing ongoing. So if anyone's listening to the recording, things will have changed by tomorrow. So just what I would recommend to you is just stay on top of this. Make sure you do it responsibly, and always check anything that's created by AI. Make it your own. Make it branded, give it your voice, but also double check the facts. So a variety of content, explore different ways, right? There's so many. You might be familiar. Maybe you're comfortable just writing. Maybe you're comfortable creating graphics. Just consider a variety, and a variety based on how best to display your content, but how to engage with your audience. Like, what do they really want? And there are so many different kinds, but I always like to go back to stats just to give me ideas. So Content Marketing Institute, if you guys don't follow them, they're great. They do a lot of research, very credible organization, and they put this out. So in the last 12 months, now this came from last year, but it really hasn't changed a whole lot. You have the top content marketers for business to consumers are using is short articles, videos, and infographics, with short articles quite a bit ahead in the game. And then there's a few other ones there as well. And then how do you distribute that content? The most popular way is, of course, the website, blogs, and email newsletters. And then business to business, if that's your world that you're in, short articles still lead the way a little bit further, 89%. Videos are 75%, and case studies are the third at 67%. And now how do they distribute? Still the owned website, 90%. So website is still the hub. It's the core place for most of your content work. Second for them is blogs at 78% and email newsletter at 69%. So the top three are the same across the board. What's going to change is some of the sub ones. And then other types. I mean, this is just a very small list. Go for it. Just go out, do your research, think about what you have to provide, and don't forget that this is potentially content, right? Like projects that you're doing turns into case studies. Maybe you have a whole list of data, turn it into an infographic. If you have maps of different locations that you worked, turn it into a map. So the sky's the limit when it comes to content. So make sure you have that full funnel strategy, right? By tailoring content to the different stages of your journey, the full funnel strategy aims to build a relationship with audience, addresses their pain points, and ultimately drives conversions and customer loyalty. So we know, and I will say this many times, and you'll hear me say this, great content moves customers through the funnel. If it doesn't have a goal, if it doesn't have a purpose, and it's not moving people through, it's not great, right? It has to resonate and fit your goals, meet your clients where they are, and help move them forward. Periodically do a gap analysis, like where are they getting stuck in my sales? Well, if they're getting stuck mid-funnel, maybe marketing can come in and go, hey, I need to create more blogs, or I need to do this. Or maybe it's really good, but they're just not converting. Then we need to actually focus on that conversion piece. So that's how great content goes. Make sure you do have clear goals. Brand building is huge, right? That's really where your content's focused on reputation, thought leadership, you're providing value, you're building trust. And then goals for community building. That's just, okay, so they're in here, they trust you, let's keep them engaged. Give them general interest, community outreach, humor, motivation, it has to stay on brand, latest industry news, just keep them there. And so that's one of the main goals. And then, of course, lead generation, right? That's that sales conversion, whether it's organic or paid. So some ideas, because that's what most of us get stuck on, right? Like, what do we create? Well, here's just a few that I'll leave you guys with. So general interest, industry topics, relevant news, humor, motivation, holiday specials coming up to that season, trending topics. When it comes to brand reputation, insights from your industry. So you can follow a lot of those, bring that, if you're B2B, I know in my world of cycling from the past, we looked to a lot of our manufacturers for a lot of that content and turned it into figuring out the benefits and translating that forward. Solutions for your clients, educate your client products. How do you use it? That's actually at the bottom of the funnel, right? Once they've purchased it, keep them on board, start teaching them how to use it and various benefits. Success stories, testimonials, community. And then we get into leads, of course, the big one that we talked about earlier. What's coming up? Different promotions, right? Like you're there, just ask for the sale. Maybe it's a product launch. Make sure it's part of your buying cycle, that when you do your plan, you build up the awareness, you build up the interest, and right before you give that scarcity, make sure you ask for the sale. Like that's all that part of right at the very end. Don't forget that promotional piece. Trade shows, events, contests, giveaways, all of those are some ideas. And then search engine optimization. The biggest thing is we know people are searching online for stuff. So think about when you're creating your content that you know what keywords are going to be focused. Don't stuff them. Don't overuse it, but make a list. Like if you're doing a blog, you've got a goal for this blog, what you want to do. What are those keywords that you're going to consider throughout it, and make sure you put them in. As well as when you post your blog, you want to think about the meta description at the back end. How are you going to title it? How are you going to, is the right meta description, is that first paragraph getting picked up, actually telling Google what you want, and then making sure all the headings are there, that it's scannable. And it's scannable for Google, but it's also scannable for your visitors. So do think about search engine optimization when you're creating content. And then don't forget, like we talked, promotion and delivering, right? Distribution. Make sure that when you do this, you create this content, but you got to get it out there. You got to tell people that you have this. So when you're creating content, just make sure, most importantly, that your content strategy has to be done in tandem alongside with all of your other tactics. Because if you decide you're going to be using LinkedIn or Facebook, you have to think about what that audience is doing on there. What is the best way to share content through that platform? So you will be doing a back and forth a little bit. And so those key channels are typically, and it's not an exhaustive list there, but the categories are usually social media, email marketing, influencer marketing. And that doesn't just mean extended outside influencers. That means you as the owner of the business, an influencer, or your team. And then don't forget your paid media. So you got to get it out there. That's really important to success of content marketing. And then don't forget to do data-driven optimization, which really means know what metrics is going to be for success when it comes to creating it, which is the input, output, and an outcome, which is basically, it's like, okay, so did this look really great? Did this check all the boxes? Who's coming to see it? Did it get shared? All of those different things is the data that you want to collect, the metrics, but you have to spend the time to analyze it as well. And then don't wait till it's perfect, it's good, then track the data, learn from it, adapt, adjust, and then keep going. So that's the whole idea of data-driven decisions, data-driven optimization for your content. So that's it. That's the key sections. Now I just wanted to leave you, and we'll keep the discussion going on those. There are some other resources that you guys can access right now. The content marketing plan is there, and that some of these are paid on our website. If you are a Grow Plus member, know that they will all be accessible in your portal. So just and if you have any questions about that, let me know. The social media calendar template will help you planning your social media. And that marketing campaign template bundle has a whole bunch of stuff, including an example from our Garden Grows on how to put a marketing campaign together. And don't forget that this is recorded. It should be up in a couple days if you are watching live. If you want to see some of our other recordings as well, just head on over to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that it gets notified when I do put these up, and the QR code is there.